So I know the past couple of days have obviously been TNA Impact Wrestling heavy, but there has been a story breaking the last couple of days. I know, as you know, I try to cover the major stories, and this is really a major story, certainly in the UK. There will be no more free WWE pay-per-views here in the United Kingdom. Now, for those fans outside the United Kingdom, or don't know really about the setup for UK and WWE pay-per-views, it's been a long-standing tradition, going back, I think, nearly 30 years, since almost certainly the late 80s, that WWE pay-per-views have been free in here in the UK. Oh, well, I say free, you have to actually pay for your satellite TV. The provider for WWE programming here in the UK is Sky, or commonly known corporately as B Sky B. Now, since the late 80s, early 90s, they have shown every single WWE pay-per-view for free. So it was for many, many years. Every single pay-per-view, it doesn't matter whether it was a WrestleMania, a Royal Rumble, a No Way Out, an Over the Edge, or whatever it was absolutely free. Oh, of course, I said you have to pay for your satellite package with the it's divided up into several packages: entertainment, movies, sports. You had to also get the sports package to get the Sky Sports channels, which then showed the pay-per-views. That was until approximately 13 years ago. The story really begins on all this back in late 1999. See, the deal, the contract between the WWE, or which was then the World Wrestling Federation, and Sky TV, was actually coming to an end. It was expiring. Now, for whatever reason, and the reasons have never been clear, I think it's obviously probably to do with money and the rights, etc., they could not come to an agreement. For whatever, they literally tried for many months to try to come to an agreement. Unfortunately, this meant, and I remember it well, this meant, I believe, late 99, 2000, we had a bit of a blackout for a few months on WWE pay-per-views. We couldn't get them. They weren't on Sky Sports, they weren't on any other channel. We just could not get them for a couple of months, and it was frustrating. And both sides, when asked, oh, we're working hard to try and get a deal, but it's unfortunate because the deal, I think, expired literally a couple of days before the pay-per-view. So it was all built up and all hyped, all the fans looking forward to it, and we couldn't get it. But anyway, cut a long story short, Channel 4, a terrestrial television channel. What I mean by that is, you buy a television, obviously, and here in the UK you have to buy a television license. All that money actually goes to one broadcaster, the British Broadcasting Corporation. That's another story completely. But in order to watch a television legally, you must have a television license here in the UK. I know, of course, I do that, and I help pay for it. But you get the television, you obviously have a television license that you pay annually. You plug your television in, you switch it on, and for many years in the UK, if you had just a simple basic television, you switched on, you could only get 4 channels. And in those days, I think Channel 5 was about coming on, or coming on soon. But Channel 4, the terrestrial television provider channel, stepped in and actually negotiated some of the rights to a few of the WWE pay-per-views. This was like late 99, 2000, late 99, because I'm sure Royal Rumble 2000 was actually on Channel 4 television, with the debut of Taz. Yes, I'm sure it was, in the Cactus Jack, Triple H street fight. Well, anyway, Channel 4 in very late 1999, after we'd missed a couple of pay-per-views, stepped in and bought the rights, because WWE was still red hot in the UK, and it still is, but it was really red hot. It declined a little bit, but still red hot in the UK. Channel 4 stepped in. They bought the rights to several of the pay-per-views. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened. Nobody knows what happened. Channel 4 have always refused to acknowledge this or talk about this or comment on this. Because you tweet them or you ask anybody you know what's Channel 4, they don't know what happened. But after just a couple of pay-per-views, Channel 4 just dropped the WWE program. They had a decent length contract for at least a couple of years. I think it was a 2 to 3 year contract at least to show WWE pay-per-views, and it wasn't in the Attitude Era. It wasn't the real, swearing and stuff like that. You go watch for the late 99, 2000, it was kind of moving more, kind of a bit towards PG. It wasn't that extreme, it wasn't that rude, it wasn't that violent, but for some reason, Channel 4 almost looked again at what they had, and they said, oh no, we don't want anything to do with the WWE or its pay-per-views, because at that time they also actually showed, along with taking a couple of the pay-per-views, they also showed Sunday Night Heat, the old program used to be on Sundays as a highlight program. What's happened this week in the WWE? Because this was before the kickoff of SmackDown. So what happened on Raw? Of course, a couple of taped for Heat matches as well occasionally. But for whatever reason, Channel 4 stepped back, dropped WWE completely. It was very suddenly. We were just given no notice, and then just suddenly Channel 4 released a press statement saying we are no longer airing WWE. And it was I actually remember sitting down and watching after the news on Channel 4, because I was waiting for another program to come on, and there was just this piece. I don't know what it's like in America or elsewhere, but sometimes you get it on a channel if they've had a major complaint held up against them by the regulator authorities for television, and they say, this has happened, this complaint has been given to us, we have been found in breach of, whatever it is, and this complaint has been upheld, and this is the reason why, we apologise for this, whatever it is. But that's what came on, and then just said a very quick statement. Actually, it wasn't really as lengthy as that. I was just saying we are no longer showing WWE pay-per-views and programming. Now, obviously, Sky Television, Sky B, had actually stepped back in, and eventually, because WWE were looking a bit desperately for a provider for their pay-per-views and events in the UK. I'm not sure about the weekly television programs. I think they were still on, but the pay-per-views certainly weren't for a couple of months. But anyway, Sky and WWE eventually reached the deal, and the deal though there was that some of the WWE pay-per-views that had been free here in the UK were now on their Sky box office, which means you have to pay additional sums. It's now £14.95. I can't remember what what the price was in those days, because it was a bit of a weird time for television. It's a whole different story about ITV digital and so forth. But anyway, the deal was reached in 2000 between WWE and Sky Television that some of the WWE pay-per-views that had been free, because we'd always got all the pay-per-views as you stepped up, of course, the number of pay-per-views in the WWE, some of them would be on the Sky box office service, which would mean that you need to pay an additional fee to see some of them. Now, over the years, unfortunately, this has increased, and now we only have a few pay-per-views free. And this brings us really up to date. And WWE, the little bit of press release that is on the corporate Sky website says the new agreement with WWE, the worldwide leader in sports entertainment, includes the popular weekly programs Raw, SmackDown, WWE Main Event, and WWE Experience, which is due to feature all the WWE superstars, including John Cena, Randy Orton, CM Punk, Big Show, and Daniel Bryan. Sky will also offer 12 special events a year on a pay-per-view basis, including WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Money in the Bank. Now, obviously I do not know how or whether this will affect the upcoming UK launch of the WWE network. I do hope that we get it the same as America, so we don't need to buy every single pay-per-view, because I thought that would be a bit ridiculous. The American fans can pay the $9.99 a month, and they can get every pay-per-view with no extra charge, but then UK fans are charged for it. I do hope that's not the case, but exact details are yet unknown. This has been confirmed at least as a 5-year deal until end of 2019. So I believe the start date of this new deal is next year. I have found a list of the WWE pay-per-views for this year. I do not know how accurate this is. This is only this list that I can find, and it does only go up to Survivor Series in November. Obviously, we had the Royal Rumble on Box Office. Elimination Chamber is on Sky Sports, no additional fee to be paid here in the UK. WrestleMania 30 and Extreme Rules will both be on Sky Sports Box Office. So we'll have to pay for them. Payback on June the 1st is on Sky Sports. We already know that is coming also from Chicago, thanks to the Chicago Tribune newspaper. Then we have Money in the Bank, Battleground, SummerSlam, all on Box Office. Then we have Night of Champions on September 21st on Sky Sports, no additional fee to be paid for that one. And then Hell in a Cell and Survivor Series is on, the last two there, on Sky Sports Box Office. So additional fee to pay for Hell in a Cell and Survivor Series. I couldn't find anything about the TLC pay-per-view in December, if that is going to be TLC. Obviously WWE can change it in advance of the pay-per-view. We're only just entered February. So this ends a really long tradition, and an almost 30-year tradition of completely free pay-per-views in the UK. As I said, it goes back to 1999. Channel 4 coming in when Sky Sports and WWE could not reach a deal, and unfortunately I think it was maybe perhaps Sky wanted more money or whatever it was, but a lot of the WWE pay-per-views ended up from 2000, mid-2000 at least, on Sky Box Office, which means an additional fee has had to pay, and it's been increased over the last few years, over the last decade or so. It has been increased. More and more pay-per-views have become Sky Box Office rather than free on Sky Sports, which means now, as I said, all 12 WWE pay-per-views will no longer be able to be viewed here in the UK for free on Sky Sports. To be honest, it's been a thing that has been feared in the UK wrestling press for quite a while. As I said, slowly, every year, it's been stepped up and stepped up and stepped up. More and more pay-per-views for free have been taken. There's been less and less of them, more on Sky Box Office, more on Sky Box and more on Sky Box Office. So obviously from, I believe, 2015, we will have to pay for every single WWE pay-per-view. So it's been a long time coming. I know the US fans have been paying through the nose. I don't know exactly about the currency and the currency changing and how the price in the US reflects the price in the UK in the real terms, but certainly the UK fans are going to eventually, finally, lose any free pay-per-views at all. They're all going to be on Sky Box Office. This is obviously an income thing for both WWE and Sky. I don't know. Again, I do not know the financial details. I do not know how much money Sky gets for the pay-per-views and how much WWE takes of the money. But it's certainly a complete change now, 100% change from about 13 years ago, 14 years ago, really. That no more completely free pay-per-views in the UK, and as I said, I do not know how this is going to affect the WWE network. We've heard rumours that the WWE network in the UK is to be launched in association with Sky. I don't know what this means. What does this mean for WWE pay-per-views in the UK? Will we get, as I said, will we get the same as the US when they can pay for the network and get the pay-per-views at no extra charge? Obviously, if that happens, a lot of people will subscribe to the WWE network, and that'll cover even the cost just of your pay-per-view. Well, you'll save a little bit actually on the cost of a WWE pay-per-view, even if you just simply watch the pay-per-view. It doesn't also mention NXT on that press release. It's a very short press release, the longest that I can find actually on online, searching for a couple hours through the Sky websites. But it doesn't mention NXT, which is actually aired on Sky Sports in the UK, but I believe they did sign a new deal in December regarding NXT, so maybe that's not why it's mentioned. And I do know that Christy Hemme, and I'll go back to TNA a little bit, but Christy Hemme did say that TNA will be staying on Challenge TV for free for the next several years. At least she said that. She was like the announcer and host of the TNA taping in Glasgow this past Thursday, the 30th of January 2014. So a complete and utter change in relation to WWE pay-per-views in the UK. It's going to shock a lot of people. It's going to upset a lot of people. I know it will. But you know, obviously this has been coming for many years. WWE pay-per-views no longer free in the UK at all. As I said, any releases regarding the setup of the WWE network in the UK and how the pay-per-views will be provided, obviously I will pass along when we get more details from Sky or WWE nearer the time. Hopefully it's scheduled to be released in the UK late 2014, early 2015. Nobody knows exact dates. Rumours around about end of November, sometime in December, have been floated, but as I said, we don't know. But that is finally, after almost 30 years, the end, the complete and utter end of free WWE pay-per-views in the UK. Bye bye. It was nice knowing you, free pay-per-views.